September 11th, 2001, a date that will go down in infamy to all United States citizens. In this video, I will provide a synopsis of the events leading up to the devastating attacks and the aftermath that followed shortly after. I have source clips from a video produced by Koller, which includes 4 hours of synchronized footage and radio signals from first responders and air traffic control. If you're interested, I highly recommend watching his full video as it is extremely insightful and well put together. I will link it in the description below.
Into the North Atlantic over the next couple of days.
It was a normal Tuesday morning in New York City as the morning news began like it did every other day.
Very close to tropical storm strength, winds at 35 miles per hour. It looks like this storm is going to go to the north, so both storms appears no threat to land at this time.
21 men from the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda were about to embark on the most devastating terrorist attack in our nation's history. The men boarded 4 separate flights on the morning of September 11th with plans to hijack and crash the airliners.
It's gone, but from Father Hurley Boulevard, Route 27 on down in the thick of it. And a quick check on 95, still looking at delays headed north out of Newington to Springfield. Barbara?
At 7:59 a.m., the first of 4 flights to be hijacked would depart from Logan International Airport in Boston, headed to Los Angeles International Airport. At 8:11 a.m., Flight 11 would have its last routine communication with air traffic control.
Position for recovery in the
American 11, climb maintain level 350.
United 175 Heavy, runway 9er, cleared for takeoff. Traffic holding a position on 4 right.
American 11, climb maintain level 350. American 11, Boston. Earth 7, Mike Lima, how do you hear?
Mike Lima has you loud and clear.
American 11, Boston. American 11, the American on the frequency, how do you hear me?
It was at this time the second of 4 planes to be hijacked would leave Logan Airport in Boston, carrying an additional 5 terrorists.
I turned American 20 left and I was going to climb him. He will not respond to me now.
Looks like he's turning right.
Yeah, I turned him 20 right.
Oh, okay.
And he's only going to, I think, 29.
Okay.
Low.
Sure, that's fine.
But
You
I'm
want
not
to
talking
answer
to
yet.
him.
He's Nardo. Roger.
Right.
Thanks.
PD 240 will begin down to Mike Lima.
American 11, Boston. American 11, if you hear Boston Center, ident.
Numerous attempts to communicate with the pilots from Flight 11 go unanswered, and the air traffic controllers begin to fear the worst.
Boston, got a 683, flight level 210, climb 230.
Final 683, Boston Center, roger, climb maintain level 310.
Climb maintain flight level 310.
American 11, if you hear Boston Center, ident, please, or acknowledge.
Shell, count on shell.
It's at this time Betty Ong, a flight attendant on Flight 11, alerts American Airlines Reservation Center about the hijacking.
3342, United 175, have a good day.
Is what this will eventually look like. You'll have a visitor center in here. They can enter under here. There will be movies and artifacts and things like that that will be available. It'll be 3 things really: educational. At 8:20 a.m., Boston flight controllers decide that Flight 11 has most likely been hijacked. At the same time, Flight 77, the third of 4 planes to be hijacked, departs from Washington Dulles International Airport, heading for Los Angeles International Airport. 5 more hijackers are aboard.
There's not only long lines and long...
American 11, American 11, how do you hear the center?
Well, the safety issues are a very important one because this will give a more controlled flow than just having people milling around out here on the East Plaza that we have here right now. There'll be entryways in here that you can go into the Capitol, into the House or the Senate chamber over here. And also another factor, you know, we're a focal point.
At 8:26, Flight 11 makes a 100-degree turn south, following the Hudson River, headed toward New York City.
Mayor Charlie Lucan and Curtis Fuller are the front runners in the city's first.
7 minutes later, we hear a third transmission from one of the hijackers of Flight 11.
Is the first Cincinnati mayor and then became a TV star. Hey, we got options.
Nobody move, please.
Going back to the airport. Don't try to make any stupid moves.
Closet, couldn't we?
Not right now.
All right.
Thank you,
See
Kara.
you later.
Okay, United 175, you have him at your 12 o'clock now in 10 miles.
Affirmative. We have him. He looks about 28,000.
Okay, thank you.
The pilot of Flight 175 confirms sighting of the hijacked Flight 11. It's at this time Flight 11 begins a rapid descent at 3,200 feet per minute.
Right on site.
So for now, evacuation grid.
Roger, weapons, Sergeant Powell.
Hi, Boston Center, Team U. We have a problem here. We have a hijacked aircraft headed towards New York, and we need you guys we need someone to scramble some F-16s or something up there to help us out.
Is this real world or exercise?
No, this is not an exercise, not a test.
Okay, hey, hold on 1 second, okay?
Yep.
Hey, seriously, big time.
Last minute and risk.
At 8:37, the Boston Center Control informs the Northeast Air Defense Sector of a hijacking and requests military assistance. At the same time, the fourth and final plane to be hijacked departs from Newark International Airport.
The most pregnant of us. Morning, Gail.
Morning, Carol. I'll tell you, this is the biggest media crush I've seen so far, and it's all over maternity wear. I'm backstage at the Liz Lang maternity show, and it's rock and roll back here. We have media from all over
American Airlines emergency line. Please state your emergency.
Hey, this is Nitty at American Airlines calling. I am monitoring a call in which Flight 11, the flight attendant is advising our reps that the pilot, everyone's been stabbed.
Flight 11?
Yep. They can't get into the cockpit is what I'm hearing.
Okay, who's this I'm talking to?
Excuse me, this is Nitty at American Airlines at the Raleigh Reservation Center. I'm the operations specialist on duty.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Nydia.
Nydia. And what's your last name?
Gonzalez, Gonzalez.
Raleigh Reservations. Okay.
Now, I got the flight attendant on the line with one of our agents.
Okay. And she's calling how?
Through reservations. I can go in on the line and ask the flight attendant questions.
Okay. I'm assuming they've declared an emergency. Let me get ATC on here. Stand by.
Got any contact with anybody? Okay, I'm still on with security, okay, Betty? You're doing a great job. Just stay calm, okay? We are, absolutely.
Okay, we're contacting the flight crew now, and we're also contacting ATC.
Okay.
Anything else from this flight attendant?
So far what I've got, the number 5 flight attendant's been stabbed, but she seems to be breathing. The number 1 seems to be stabbed pretty badly, and she's lying down on the floor. They don't know whether she's conscious or not. The other flight attendants are in the back, and that's as far as I know. It seems like the passengers in this coach might not be aware of what's going on right now.
These 2 passengers were from first class?
Okay, hold on. Hey, Betty? Do you know any information as far as the gentlemen that are in the cockpit with the pilot? Were they from first class? They were sitting in 2A and B.
Okay.
They are in the cockpit with the pilots.
Who's helping them? Is there a doctor on board?
Is there a doctor on board, Betty, that's assisting you guys? You don't have any doctors on board, okay. So you've gotten all the first class passengers out of first class?
At 8:45, the terrorists of Flight 11 take their final descent, aiming at the World Trade Center.
Who the other passenger might be in first. Apparently they might have spread something, so they have a hard time breathing or getting in that area. What's going on, Betty?
Battalion 1 from Manhattan. Battalion 1. We just had a plane crash into Level 4 of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
Okay, so we'll stay open. I think we might have lost her.
Okay.
Hundreds of innocent people are trapped, and sadly, many of them choose to jump to their death rather than suffocate from smoke inhalation. We can then witness as news first breaks about the horrific incident.
Engine 1 on Manhattan.
Engine 1 on, go.
Roll every available ambulance you got to this position.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. The CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story, obviously calling our sources and trying to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating happening this morning there on the south end of the island of Manhattan. That is, once again, a picture of one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
We could see these pictures. It's obviously something devastating has happened. And again, unconfirmed report that a plane has crashed into one of the towers there. We are efforting more information on this subject as it becomes.
Listen as air traffic control helps Flight 2315 escape a near collision with hijacked Flight 175.
Park right now, and you can hear the fire engine.
Delta 2315. Delta 2315, turn left immediately to a heading of 200.
Turn immediately, 200, Delta 2315.
Roger, traffic, 1 o'clock, 10 miles, turning into your face, descending out of 31. It's a hijacked aircraft. We don't know what he's doing.
Fire like this in the air, and pieces of the building were flying
Not here
down.
was an airplane, any kind of a prop plane, and I think looking at the damage, I don't think there's any way.
Flight 175 begins heading directly towards New York City as we hear a horrifying message by passenger Brian Sweeney sent to his wife.
And so tall.
Jules, this is Ryan. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things will go well, and it's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy this time. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Hi, Dave. Hope I call you.
I would have to speculate there would have to be a larger than normal jet. I mean, larger than like a Citation or something like that. It's just such a gigantic hole, and it blew out.
Accidental. We know so little now other than what we can see from these pictures. But the interesting point is there are a number of small airports around New York where passenger corporate jets or private jets will land and take off. And it's not uncommon if you have ever visited the World Trade Center.
Hey, Joe, you see 3321 code just southwest of Newark by about 15, 18, 20 miles, 15,000 descending.
Looking, hold on, southwest Newark by about 15, 20.
They were tracking him, made a hard left turn. He's descending pretty rapidly, and especially what just happened in there.
I got somebody who keeps coasting, but it looks like he's going into one of the small airports down there.
No, this guy's a big one.
Hey, can you look out your window right now? Yeah. Can you see a guy at about 4,000 feet, about 5 east of the airport right now? Looks like he's...
Yeah, I see him.
You see a guy, look, is he descending for the building also?
He's descending really quick, too, yeah.
Well, that's
2,500 feet now. He just dropped 800 feet in like one sweep.
That's another situation.
Either way.
What's this other jet doing? What's this other jet doing? Holy fuck!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You say that emergency vehicles are there, understandably so, but of course the major concern is human loss. I mean, do you know if there were many people in the building?
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building.
You have a second plane into the other tower.
Another one just hit the building.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. Another one hit it hard. Another one just hit the World Trade.
We just saw a plane circling the building a second ago on the shot right before
I
that.
think there may have been another impact. Can you tell? I just heard another very loud bang, and a very large plane that might have been a DC-9 or a 747 just flew past my window. And
The second one just hit the Trade Center. Okay. Yeah, we got to alert the military real quick on this.
It has now impacted the building. I'm trying to see if it's the different tower.
I think it may have been. I believe
tower.
the first one was World Trade Center 1, and it looks, from what I'm seeing on the television, like it may have been the second building.
This is a piece of tape, and we may actually see another plane enter the picture here in a second.
I wonder if there are air traffic control problems.
Radio signals capture the moment the fourth group of hijackers enter the cockpit on Flight 93.
1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370. Negative contact. We're looking at United 93.
Somebody call Cleveland.
Roger, American 1060 with you. We're 370. We're slowing due to the delays possible going eastbound.
That's American 1060.
You got United 93?
United 93.
South of Chardonnay has descended.
What's that?
I just saying, it looks like he descended
I
there.
don't think so. United 93, verified 350.
United 93, Cleveland.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Do you have United 93 south of Chardonnay?
We hear some funny noises. We're trying to get him. Do you have him?
No. Thank you. United 93, Cleveland.
United 1523, did you hear your company, did you hear some interference on the frequency here a couple of minutes ago, screaming?
Yes, I did, 797, and we couldn't tell what it was either.
Okay. United 93, Cleveland, if you hear the center right then.
Or the second plane hit the building, you'll watch it enter from the right portion of the screen and then make contact.
By the order of the citywide tour commander, all off-duty firefighters and all off-duty officers are hereby recalled. Repeating, by the orders of the citywide tour commander, all off-duty firefighters and all off-duty officers, you are hereby ordered for recall immediately.
At 9:30 a.m., President Bush makes his first public statements about the attacks at Booker Elementary, where he was at to do a reading for the students.
In Florida, I wonder if everybody knows there what's going on. We'll listen to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult moment for America. I unfortunately will be going back to Washington after my remarks. Secretary Rod Pace and Lieutenant Governor will take the podium and discuss education. I do want to thank the folks here at the Booker Elementary School for their hospitality. Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center.
He goes on to state that he will be calling on the full forces of the federal government and that the people who committed this terrible act will be caught.
May God bless the victims, their families, and America. Thank you very much.
Moments later, radio transmissions from Flight 93 pick up the voice of one of the terrorists, telling the passengers to remain calm and that they have a bomb on board.
Now, believing and confirming that we have 2 terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center, and the President saying...
The captain, please sit down and keep remaining sitting. We have a bomb on board. So,
which is an important thing for him.
Calling Cleveland Center, you're unreadable. Say again slowly.
God bless the victims.
I wanted to see if you were in at some level because it's so segmented.
Again, I'm...
At 9:37, Flight 77 crashes into the western side of the Pentagon, killing all 65 people aboard and 125 Pentagon personnel.
American Airlines reported hijacking, or whether or not that was a second plane. So at this point, we're getting different reports. Go ahead, Mr. Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, you telling me that, Brian, if that is...
Washington, this is Gopher 06.
Gopher 06, guy.
Yes, sir, that aircraft is down. He's in our 12 o'clock position. Looks like it's just to the northwest of the airfield at this time, sir.
Gopher 86, thank you. Descend and maintain 2,000.
Okay, we're down to 2,000. And this is Gopher 06. It looks like that aircraft crashed into the Pentagon, sir.
Yeah. The size of an incredible tragedy to me, although I certainly would never expect it.
Another radio transmission is heard from the hijacker piloting Flight 93.
For a second, if you would.
Here's the captain. I would like to order to remain seated. We have a bomb on board, and we are going to back to the airport, and we have our demand, so please remain quiet. Okay, it's United 93 calling. United 93, understand you have a bomb on board. Go ahead.
Though, as to the identity of this aircraft, we're talking about crowded airspace in New York with major airports in the area, both in the immediate area of New York and in the surrounding cities. There should be information fairly quickly that
responsible for this. He will now travel back to Washington, and aides are telling us now that he will immediately convene a national security meeting to see what steps are taken next.
David, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're looking at live pictures of the Pentagon where there is billowing smoke. Jim Miklashevsky just reported that he heard an explosion, and right now we're looking at an aerial view of the Pentagon. Mick, can you talk to us?
Officially, nobody knows exactly what happened. I think the picture is pretty clear. According to one U.S. Army officer who went running past me at a full trot,
He said that it appears that a bomb was detonated.
Indy Center.
Indianapolis Center, reference Delta 89. Do you know any information about that aircraft? I wanted to give you a heads up. This is another hijack aircraft. Boston to Las Vegas. He's on a mode 3 of 1304. We do have contact via...
And what was the number again? Delta
89. It's a 767.
That a Palestinian group has claimed responsibility. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon. It would appear that there has been another major explosion, this one in the nation's capital. You are looking at a scene of apparent blast aftermath.
In the air over the United States have been ordered to land at the nearest airport.
I think what you're going to see...
Hang on a sec, John. I just want to check one thing, because one of the very first people the president talked to was the director of the FBI, and Pierre Thomas.
At 9:59, the unimaginable happens. The South Tower collapses, and you can hear the harrowing sounds of what appears to be the radios of hundreds of New York firefighters shutting off simultaneously.
Coldfield come. Okay. One of the buildings is partially collapsed.
What's going on after that? The probability of extension, as they call that, is high.
Take two and 2, 1. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
I hope I live. It's coming down on me. Here it comes. I'm getting behind the car.
Anthony, you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Watch out. I got it.
What do we have? We don't...
It looks like a new plume, a new large plume of smoke.
Off the building. It may be that something has fallen. We don't know, to be perfectly honest.
Seen behind us of this second tower, now just encased in smoke. What is behind it, I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see. Again.
Command post from Tower 1. To all units, evacuate the building. Command post to all units.
Fires at the Pentagon evacuated. The State Department evacuated. The
Tower 2 has had a major explosion and what appears to be a complete collapse surrounding the entire area.
As a credible terrorist threat, we have 2 explosions, 2 planes hitting the World Trade Center here in New York. And what this second explosion was that took place about a part of the south, that would be the South Tower, has apparently collapsed. We don't know if that was from the impact of this first plane that hit it or whether something else has happened there. We'll work on that.
What can you tell us? David Lee Miller, can you tell us what happened there? All right, David Lee Miller, who has seen his share of horrors around the world in trouble spots in the Middle East and elsewhere, is in that area reporting on what we think we can see. I want to stress it's tough to...
Hello?
Yeah, David Lee, what can you tell us?
John, the scene is horrific. One of the two towers literally collapsed. I was making my way to the foot of the World Trade Center. Suddenly, while talking to an officer who was questioning me about my press credentials, we heard a very loud blast, an explosion. We looked up, and the building...
I believe it said 5 injured people at the Pentagon. One eyewitness, and only one so far, is quoted as saying he thinks, I put that in quotation marks, he thinks a plane crashed into the Pentagon.
The passengers aboard Flight 93 had learned about the attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. They attempted to breach the cockpit in order to prevent the hijackers from crashing into another building. It was believed they had their sights set on the Capitol building in Washington. Thanks to the bravery of these passengers, additional catastrophe and loss of life was prevented. The hijackers chose to down the plane in a field outside of Pittsburgh before the passengers could get to them.
In flames, not by a long shot. The city is...
The remains of a airplane crash over on Lambertsville Road, and probably had a terrorist bomb on board that blew up. I don't know anything more than that. That's what I heard on the scanner. I just saw the smoke come up, and the explosion shook the house clear over here, and we are, what, 15 miles from Lambertsville.
What are you guys doing right now? What's your assignment? What's your assignment?
Help people.
Are there a lot of injured?
Where were we down there?
The dust is still thick in the air. With what that guy is covered with is this stuff that's all over the street. Just thick soot, ash. Just came roaring down here in a huge cloud from the World Trade Center. You see just the survivors, if you will. Are you able to talk? Can we just talk to you about what happened?
I was there when it exploded.
You were right there at the building?
Yes, a lot of people trapped. You're right.
A lot of people trapped. EMT. This guy needs help. What's your name?
My name is Dr. Angel.
Were you able to assist?
I also want to give you heads up, Washington.
Go ahead.
United 9-3. Have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land? Because we have confirmation.
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yes, somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
Northeast of Camp David.
That's the last report. They don't know exactly where.
Confusion reigns. This is clearly a national catastrophe. There will be some responsibility.
Of people every day that Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld has been saying only yesterday and today that he wants to reduce the bloatedness, as he put it,
has collapsed. Now, American Airlines Flight 11, a Boeing 767, flying from Boston to Los Angeles, is reported by the Associated Press to have reported a terrorist takeover in flight. We have not confirmed that on our own. This is according to the Associated Press. That assumptions can be made all over the place, but the fact is
the perspective of what he witnessed, felt, and heard, and I think Rick is not clearly aware, as we are, that the upper floors of Tower 1 of the World Trade Center have collapsed completely.
And, you know, it felt like a bomb hit or a plane hit or something like that. But the whole floor
plane did hit.
Plane did hit. Yeah, and then we looked out the window, all we saw was debris all over the place. But we thought the building was going to topple over. It was going so...
Well, one of them did.
One of them did. We were in Tower 1. We made it out.
Well, you're a lucky man.
Thank you very much. Okay, thanks.
All right, take care.
Being with us, Rick Leventhal once again with our producer Carlos Van Meek is in Lower Manhattan. You cannot even see the sky there because of the soot, the ash, the crumbled concrete that is continuing to rain down after one of the two towers of the World Trade Center, the upper floors, collapsed. This after this apparent terrorist attack this morning that sent a large jetliner, perhaps two large jetliners, slamming into the Twin Towers.
Come over this way, Pat.
You can see the chaos.
We can see the top of the building from here. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, when it comes down, we're all right. We do need to put it down.
The other tower just collapsed. Major collapse. Major collapse.
America, offer a prayer.
Everybody get out. We had to collapse to the second tower. Everybody's running from there. This is here it comes. Get in. Hold on.
Both trade towers, where thousands of people work, on this day, Tuesday, have now been attacked and destroyed, with thousands of people either in them or in the immediate area adjacent to them. There is simply no way to accurately describe the emotion this evokes in people all over the world, friends of the United States and enemies of the United States as well.
Plummet, and then a third one, and then the entire top of the building just blew up.